As the title says, why does War Thunder hate minor nations? Every single update brings new aircraft to USA, Russia, and sometimes Germany, but the rest of the other nations, well, they have outdated vehicles and no 4th gen jets. Well, in this video, we're talking about that. Last update Danger Zone, we have seen the addition of the F-14 Tomcat. Everybody was so excited and it got so hyped up that, well, it distracted us from the fact that the update is empty, useless, and did I mention empty? A super machine like the Tomcat should have had a counter to it once the update dropped. Same thing that happened with the F-100 and the MiG-19 once they got introduced in patch Supersonic. But the Germans and the Russians, however, they used their capable MiG-23s to provide some competition against the American beast. Yet countries like France still has a semi-working Mirage F1, which is absolutely outdated, let's face it. If it wasn't for the Magic 2s, that aircraft, yeah, I wouldn't even place it at 9.0. The Italianis, where they still suffer with their F-104s. The Chinese have an interceptor that is kinda meh, the Swedes have a capable enough but outdated Viggen, and the Brits, well, they just suffer completely with their outdated FGR-2 Phantom that was added in update 1.93. Forgot about Japan, and those guys have the EJ Kai, which is good, I guess. Last time that I tried it against the F-14, but you tell me in the comments down below. But why doesn't War Thunder add more vehicles per patch? Well, here's the thing, it's a little bit more complicated than you think. I think that Gaijin is taking it slow to preserve the longevity of the game, and let me explain. We are moving at a rapid pace towards the end of this game. War Thunder, the beloved and hated War Thunder that we love and hate. For tanks, most nations have reached their top tier vehicles that are presented in real life. Japan, as an example, and is the perfect example for this dilemma, already has its Type 10 added, which is in fact the latest tank for Japanese nations. Well, there is a Japanese nation. One Japan. I think my brain just started to short circuit. Well, same thing happened with USA, and such example is the M1A2. Yes, other upgrades for it are presented, but they are, well, largely classified. And Gaijin needs to have a good solid network of information and data to implement these upgrades correctly. Or else everybody's going to lose their minds and classified documents, things, and all of that will be leaked, and you know the deal. If we are going to move towards newer and newer jets at a rapid pace, well, what happened to tanks will happen to jets, and the game won't have enough to offer in the future. If you are not convinced by my analogy, then it's time to bring up some hard facts that might change your mind about the matter. Starting off with Japan, because yet again it is the best example. Japan has retired its fleet of EJ Kais, the Phantom EJ Kais, in 2019. That was 3 years ago by the time this video is published. Their next jet is going to be a modified licensed variant of the F-16 by the name of the Mitsubishi F2. Japan also has F-15s, and they go under the name of the Mitsubishi F-15J. And guess what? The nation jumps from these beasts of planes directly to the F-35As. That is literally impossible to rush in War Thunder because, let's face it, and as much as we want an F-35 in game, it is way too early for it to be implemented. Sweden has other upgraded variations of the Viggen that people would argue to be copy-pasted if they are introduced. After that, the nation just jumps from the mentioned jet to the Sub Gripen, which is a multi-role 4.5 gen jet. China still has some planes that could be introduced, such as the J-10 Vigorous Dragon and the J-11. But let me just point out that the J-11 is a Chinese Su-27 flanker. And on their top of the tree, well, you have the Shindu J-22, which is a 5th gen aircraft, and let's face it, the Chinese are pretty defensive about their technologies, and they do not like to share any info about them. The British have some options to expand here since they are heavily outdated, let's face it. And they're outdated in just about everything, well, except for tanks. The Panavia Tornado is the likely candidate to be introduced, but they also have the Eurofighter Typhoon FGR-4. The Panavia Tornado is likely the candidate to be introduced, but they also still have the Typhoon FGR-4, which is a 4th gen jet, although some people might consider it a 4.5 jet. I don't know why. On Wikipedia it says 4.0 jet, but Wikipedia is not correct. That's what people are going to argue. Other jets are unknown to me, so please do tell me about them in the comments down below, if you please. But what I know is that the next IRL jet for the Brits is going to be the BAE Tempest, which is a proposed 6th gen jet by the British. Italia operated the Panavia Tornado. It also operated the F-16 and the Eurofighter Typhoon. They are also expected to have the F-35, so whatever comes to the US tech tree or the British tech tree, Italia is going to enjoy its copy-pasta variante. France, on the other hand, well, their next jet is definitely going to be the Mirage 2000. If War Thunder introduces any other thing except for the Mirage 2000, well, they're just trolling at this point. But from the Mirage 2000, they jump to the Dassault Rafale, and that's a 4.5 gen jet that you don't want to be introduced to the game right now, believe me on that. And that leaves us with the big three, the holy trinity of War Thunder: USA, USSR, and Germany. USA and USSR have created a catalog of jets ranging from 4th gen jets to advanced 5th gen jets. I can start naming them, but I would run out of breath, energy, and disk space for recording. And since Germany gets both Soviet and Western jets because of East and West Germany at the time, well, they have the best of both worlds and tons of aircraft to get added in the game. So Germany is in a really good place. Blame history, don't blame Gaijin. I'm not advocating for Gaijin, by the way, I'm just saying it how it is. Reality. After all that evidence that I just presented, well, you tell me what you think. Should War Thunder just rush it and kill the game? Because let's face it, we are selfish and we want our favorite planes to be added and all that. We want F-22s, F-35s, and Su-57s and all that goodness. Or should they just take it slow and introduce planes with counters to them? Unlike what they did with the F-14, of course. You tell me down in the comments down below.